Happy New Year, everyone. This is Sam Agresti with Brady Ware Dealership Advisors, and back for a fresh new year, an exciting year ahead of us, I hope. So I'm glad to have 2020 behind us, and looking forward to a good 2021. So our first webinar series in January, we're gonna focus on digital, and we have our strategic partner with us, AutoSuite, Jameson Frere, who's going to talk to us a little bit today about how to utilize and leverage Facebook and to drive traffic, leads, and increase sales. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jameson.
Hey, Sam, thanks so much. Really appreciate you guys thinking of us. Hope everyone had a safe and happy holiday, and excited to be here with you guys here in January 2021. So appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy day. I know we're all super busy, so won't keep this real long at all. Just really trying to pass through some information, things that we've seen success with here at AutoSuite and in working with Brady Ware. So with that kind of said, I'm going to go into present mode here. So what we really want to talk about today, and again, what we've seen success with here at AutoSuite recently over the past several months, is getting more out of Facebook. And specifically, we've been doing a lot of testing as a Facebook marketing partner here at AutoSuite, getting 163% more out of Facebook in 2021. So chances are your dealership is maybe using Facebook, maybe they're not. They might be using obviously some other online channels. We're going to talk about how to get more out of all of that. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into it. So the first piece here is what we want to kind of measure at the end of the day is sales, and every dealership wants to make sure they're getting the most out of that. But we know that it doesn't just start with someone walking in saying, hey, I'd like to buy this, or very rarely. We know that there is actually a funnel. At the bottom there, we have website traffic. So our goal is to drive more quality website traffic. What does that look like? Well, one of the first things we do is we want to make sure that you're being found when people are searching for the vehicles that your dealership has in stock. We want to make sure that those vehicles are populating everywhere. We want to make sure that we're taking advantage of different platforms, that those vehicles are being viewed on places like Google, Facebook, and Instagram. Sad truth is that just because we are driving someone to a dealership site, we know that they're not necessarily raising their hand on the first pass through. We know that we have to hit people over the head multiple times, a lot of times, to get them to actually fill out a lead form. So we'll talk about turning quality traffic into step 2 with low funnel leads and driving leads directly into a dealership CRM. And then we're getting to step 3, where we're going to actually be able to measure and match back offline sales from online advertising, which is really the end of the goal. So very excited to jump into it here. Again, AutoSuite there in the top left is a Google partner and Facebook marketing partner. So the first piece that we've kind of mentioned here is driving quality website traffic. So what does that really look like for a dealership? Well, everyone is starting their customer journey on different places, different platforms. We want to make sure that we're diversifying a dealership's budget, making sure that the eyes of the shopper are seeing what the dealership has to offer at different times on different platforms. So we're going to use a few of these, show you what that looks like. The first is owning the top of the page and being seen for quality searches with Google Dynamic Search Ads. So what we've seen a lot of success with here, Sam, at AutoSuite is actually feeding a dealership's inventory directly into Google using their ad platform to get the dealership to show for more quality searches in the search results for less money. So everybody knows that Google ads are based on a cost per click type of format. We want to make sure that we're driving the highest quality of impressions and clicks for the lowest cost. So whether that looks like an older vehicle here on a desktop on the left with the 04 Jeep Grand Cherokee, or a newer vehicle, the 2019 Edge, On mobile, we want to make sure that our dealers are owning the top of the page when it comes to search results. Second piece here is using Facebook and Instagram to capture shoppers. A lot of times, Facebook and Instagram know what your shopping habits are. Why? A lot of times you're using the same email or Gmail when you're searching on Google that you're using to log into Facebook and Instagram. They're capturing what you're looking at. They know your shopping habits, pages you visit. It gets a little complex and a little scary. But the point is, at the end of the day, if you have a dealership and let's say you have something more generic like the vehicle on the left or something more specific like the Porsche Turbo on the right, Facebook knows who's interested in what. We at AutoSuite will rely on Facebook's machine learning to make sure that the right ads are served to the right prospect at the right time. We actually do this by relying on the machine learning and using Google Analytics to make sure that we're matching back and measuring the traffic properly. We'll also use, as highlighted here, tracking numbers to make sure we're measuring phone calls accordingly to the dealership, what ads and ad sets were actually called upon. So let's talk about those that aren't necessarily making a phone call or getting to the website and filling out a form on the first pass. Let's talk about turning website traffic into leads. First piece here is driving more leads with the Google Display Network. We know that people are often checking their news, weather, sports. They're visiting different sites all across the country. We want to make sure we are meeting the shopper where they may or may not be searching. So in this case, not necessarily searching, but we're going to make sure that we're dynamically displaying a vehicle that they have seen after they've been on a dealership's VDP. We're going to make sure we're driving that back to a quality responsive form where they can easily get in touch with the dealership and fill out the lead form. The idea here is they have now seen the vehicle multiple times. They are more likely to fill out a form or give a phone call at this point. The same is true with Facebook and Instagram. So for instance, you've been to the dealership's website, you've been to the VDP, you're now looking at photos of your kids or grandkids, let's say on Facebook or Instagram. All of a sudden you see that exact vehicle that you were looking at a day or even a few hours ago. The idea here is keeping the dealership's inventory top of mind throughout the purchase cycle. We've all had this happen to us where you're looking for a pair of shoes on Amazon, you notice that pair of shoes following you around. This is what AutoSuite specializes in doing for dealerships. But not only that, you can leverage a part of Facebook and Instagram by taking things a step further. You can actually get shoppers to reach out to you without having them leave the app. So the beauty of this is, let's say your 5-year-old comes to you and says, "Hey daddy, hey mommy, come outside, play ball with me." You're putting down the computer, you're putting down your phone. Well, the next time you go into Facebook or Instagram, you want to make sure that your vehicle is served. We want to make it easy for the person to reach out. So when they click on the vehicle, we're actually going to serve them a lead form. The beauty of this is quantity and quality. You get a lot of them because it's a seamless user experience. And the quality piece is we know that people give their real information to Facebook. So it auto pulls things like a full name, a full email address, a phone number, a zip code. What are a couple other things that you could leverage here? Well, here at AutoSuite, we will actually leverage last touch attribution. So not only pulling things and serving in an ADF format to the dealership CRM, a name, phone number, zip code, email address, but things like a make, a model, the exact VIN the person clicked on when they filled out the lead form, and the price they saw on Facebook or Instagram. It's a fantastic way, again, to leverage and get more out of your leads, drive more quality leads from the forms you're getting. Let's talk about something new. AutoSuite, being a Facebook marketing partner, has been working with Facebook, helping them build a program that we call Click to Marketplace or on Facebook destination for automotive inventory ads. With this program, Facebook, allowing partners like AutoSuite, has been beta testing for the past 9 months ways to promote inventory inside Facebook Marketplace. We all know that Facebook Marketplace is a huge lead driver for the automotive industry. Now we're able to do things like take a dealership's inventory and advertise it on its competitors' listings. We're able to actually advertise specific vehicles in specific category type feeds, or within the generic marketplace search results, or even retarget those that have viewed the marketplace VDP. Again, we're going back to the idea here with retargeting, putting down the phone, turning off the computer, the next time you're logging into marketplace, seeing the exact vehicle from the dealership that you were looking at last time you were on there. In AutoSuite's testing, we actually saw a 163% increase in leads per day with a campaign that we ran for a dealership group in December of 2020. We were also able to match back 1.4 million in revenue and attribute that to 44 units sold. Again, this program is doing absolutely phenomenal things for dealerships all across the country. This is just one example that we've seen in our testing so far in AutoSuite. So as we just talked about, we've been able to take online advertising and measure that to offline attribution. So how are we doing that? Well, today, if you're a dealership and you have a capable DMS, you're able to do a lot of these things too. But I am going to tell you, it's cumbersome, clunky, and complex. But there are ways to do it, like taking your sales data, back uploading that to Facebook, and seeing if ads were served to people that came in and purchased. At AutoSuite, we've also taken things one step further. We've actually taken the step of deciphering the difference between ads that were served and then ads that were actually interacted with or clicked on. So a lot of marketing partners out there, and even when you're doing this yourself, will give you some pretty basic statistics that are still very, very important. Things like impressions, things like clicks, cost per click, and even click-through rate. The ability to measure leads in your CRM is fantastic as well. And again, measuring page views and sessions from Google Analytics is critical. But again, at the end of the day, working with as many dealers as we do, we know that sales is the #1 thing that dealerships are often looking for from themselves and from other vendor partners. So again, the ability to measure offline attribution and decipher the difference between views and clicks on those is critical. You're also able to take that information and divide that out and break it down by your budget for a cost per sale. So kind of in the middle there, you'll notice that there's revenue generated for that. And then on the end here, with the $56 mark in the bottom right, you're actually able to take it out and divide it out for a cost per sale. Again, having a capable DMS is critical. AutoSuite is RCI certified, also CDK certified. So we are an RCI interface, along with being a CDK certified partner. There are also about 30 other DMS systems that we personally work with, including Fraser, Dealer Center, and other ones. So again, taking Facebook to the next level in 2021 is a critical step for your dealership. But again, limiting to just Facebook may not be the best strategy. Using other channels like Google and some other low funnel channels as well is a great thing. So with all that said here, Sam, I'm going to kind of pause and open it up for Q&A.
Thanks, Jameson. Very good. A lot of good information. We do have a few questions from attendees, so I'll kind of go through those for you. We got a couple. It looks like about 4 of them. So
Okay.
from Todd. Todd's asked, how are you matching the sales on Facebook?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we'll actually do is take online data. Facebook's very private about that type of thing. So we necessarily, on the last slide there, we necessarily can't tell you, hey, it was Ed Braunbeck who came in on this date at this exact time. We can tell you it's person X who saw an ad, who clicked on an ad within this period window. We're able to do that by taking DMS data, back uploading that into Facebook. They send it back as a hashed person X with the sale amount for that window. So again, Facebook being private with the data doesn't necessarily give us first and last name, but it will tell us if we served an ad, if the person viewed the ad, or if the person went as far as to click on the ad, then come in and purchase.
Oh, good, good. Another question is from Molly. She asked, I'm already on Marketplace. How's that? How is what you mentioned different? Any different?
Yeah, so what we've actually partnered with Facebook on is it's called On Facebook Destination for automotive inventory ads. We're essentially running boosted promoted placement inside of Facebook Marketplace. One of the biggest things that is a differentiator rather than just uploading your inventory to Marketplace the way you normally would is if you're, let's say, a franchise dealership, you're able to actually run new vehicle ads inside Marketplace, as well as used vehicle ads inside Marketplace. They come with a little tag that says sponsored. But again, you're able to appear multiple different ways inside Facebook Marketplace, not necessarily when someone's just looking for a make and model. Your entire inventory is now boosted inside Marketplace, giving you top tier placement.
Oh, good. Next question comes from Jim. He's asking, what CRMs do you send leads to?
All different types of CRMs. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, all your major CRMs, we're able to kind of push the leads into Dealer Socket, of course, Vintage Solutions, eLeads. Obviously, those are the big ones out there, and then there's several other small ones we send them in. Essentially, the leads are coming in an ADF format, so all the CMs will accept that format. So super easy to do.
Oh, good. Thanks, Ed. Last question comes from Natalie. She's asking, we have a BDC and manage the messages. How does this program work for us?
Yeah, it works the exact same way Ed kind of mentioned. So we're not necessarily able to push Facebook messages from Marketplace to a CRM. A lot of what we do, we can push to a CRM. When we're not able to, we can still feed those Facebook messages to your BDC, any email address that you kind of give us. Ed, I was going to say, do you have more detail on that as well?
Yeah, and so I think it was Natalie that's question. That's a great question. We get that periodically, particularly for BDCs running really strong processes. So I like to hear that question. Essentially, the simple answer is you can continue to work the leads how you handle them today. So you're likely already getting messenger leads, or you're obviously getting leads in your CRM. So whatever the processes are you have today, those processes continue. We can make sure the leads are coming through this format. So that could go into your CRM and you handle the leads, or you could be working directly through Messenger, or we have our own proprietary platform as well. So we're not looking to change what you do today if you have a strong process in place.
Very good. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Jameson. Well, that's all the questions we have. Just want to thank the fellows from AutoSuite for doing the webinar and kicking our webinar series off for this year. So and thanks everyone for attending, and look forward to next month's webinar series. So we'll see you next month. And if you have any other questions, please email them to us, and we'll get you answers as soon as possible. So take care and have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. We appreciate it.